Good day folks, so here I'm again recording, and this time I'm going to give, well, basically my final opinion on the game that am currently reviewing, which is the demo gameplay for Lost Soul Aside. Yep, so this game has a mixed review on Steam. Review? Well, I just want to see what the game is about, so I kinda want to test out the demo. Definitely not buying the game whole, you know. I kinda wanna know what the game is about. So anyway, let's just cut the chase and straight talk about the game. First is, I want to talk about the game and how it feels, how it plays, and what will you find inside. So this game is definitely have these strong vibes of RPG style games. Well, where you kinda do some hack and slash, you loot, and you also, well, fight enemies, basically. Well, anything that comprise of RPG, classic as it is. And now, as I want to say again, I do feel kind of vibes, something like to Final Fantasy. You know, it kinda things like that. Maybe it's kind of like a distant feelings or something. Well, that's what I felt about it. Anyway, moving on. The combat mechanism does quite complex. It has a lot of moves, has a lot of mechanism it tried to take itself upon, and well, you basically can fight your enemies in a more aggressive way, defensive way, or whatever you feel like it. The game comprises on light attack and heavy attack, and it gives you the ability to mix match combos with those attack style, so you could make a really full-blown combo style to wreck your enemies. And of course you can lock on enemies actually recommended to do so, well, because this is a classic RPG features, and well, why not using it. The game's giving you 4 slots of item of your own choices, and you can use this item using buttons 1, 2, 3 or 4 on keyboard, or whatever button choices of yours. You can also tune these items inside the item slot on inventory or something like that, but sadly since I'm not accessing inventory at all, well, I guess that's that. And of course you can also do dodge and actually do perfect dodge to do counter attack afterwards, and it's called Blitz Burst. Though I'll be honest, the window for doing this counter attack is really small, and it's hard to actually doing it in perfect manners. The game also gives you the ability to block enemies attack, and when the enemies do a heavy attack by giving a signal of blue circles around the enemies, you can do perfect block that way and do the counter attack similar to the dodge afterwards. And then there's Burst Pursuit. Man, this game got so much words to tell. Okay, this one is basically a combo finisher. So this is what you do when you finish a combo. It's when your character kinda do a flashy blue things around your character, and you press a button to do this, and it will flung your enemies upwards, basically end your combo kind of thing. This game got arena power, and you are given 3 arena power in the demo. I don't know if it's already unlocked in the first place or not. Well, anyway, this will give you the ability to kind of do various attack style, attack pattern, and just wreak havoc to your enemies basically. So you need to have a full bar for each of your arena power, and it will give you a different attack power in each different. So this is basically your character skill. Right, that's it. And then there is Fusion Merge. Simplified, it's a rage mod in which you just gone crazy haywire. It will of course increase your attack and just wreak havoc to your enemy. So basically it's that. Okay, and then the enemy in this game got defense bar, in which they have this shield bar that you need to destroy first, and after that the enemy will be stunned and you will deal great damage after that. And of course you are given the ability to do a finishing move to an enemy by pressing the button, and then it will do a consecutive fixed attack style to destroy your enemies, depleting its health directly. And if your enemy didn't die after that move, the shield bar will replenish and you have to do everything again. Of course you can destroy your enemies even before destroying the bar probably. Well, since this is a demo, I don't think I can do it in here, so that's that. After that, of course, this game gonna have looting in this game. There's a chest that you can loot, you know, you're going around exploring the map, and then there's also the classic, you know, herbs gathering stuff where you just attack the bushes and you got some plants. Well, there's gonna be some bushes that does look in a way are distinctive. Well, and of course, any RPG games, you gotta need a waifu. Yep, there you go, they have it. Have it your way. And well, one thing is that saving in here kinda, I guess it's kinda implemented on her, so she's like a walking safe spot. So the game pretty much tells that she is basically the person you want to go if you want to save, you want to gather, obtain items, do this, that, or whatever. She's basically the game hub. That's it. And that's basically all the features so much that I feel about. And so now let's talk about what is my experience about in this game. Now, when I start the game, definitely because this is games that published by PlayStation, well, there's already the recommendations to use controller right away from the get-go. Well, doesn't matter because, well, I think it's still playable using mouse and keyboard. So counter chase to the next is that after starting the game, you straight up go to the black screen and a loading screen basically, in which it kind of titles out compiling shaders, so you gotta wait a moment. I don't know why games nowadays has it. Maybe that's just what games nowadays, right? Not really. Maybe games that has more like heavy graphics kind of do that nowadays, probably. Well, that's that. And then I'm not gonna lie, because I played with mouse and keyboard again, there is too much button. Like, you got the walking button, right? You got the attacking, running, and then you got the evasion, block, and then you got these skills, 4 items. There's like the special abilities, and there's like another thing. There's too much button. I don't know. Like, this is probably like one of the few games that I've played with a really complex button. Or maybe it is intended to be played with controller instead, and that's why the keyboard button is quite complex. So that's that. Anyway, the game runs poorly. Yep. The main aspect is that the games run so bad. First, the frame fluctuations. Like, there's like just in a moment when you play the game, you just play the game and it runs just fine. And then suddenly the frame drops and it feels so stuck up. It's like you're playing a PNG game instead. I don't know. I don't even know what is happening. It's just the game just does that and that's it. It basically just breaks my fun. Yep. Definitely. So that's already a demerit points, or really bad demerit points, that it has performance issues. And then when I fight the boss got a really flashy moves. And you combine that with the frame drops, you combine that with the fluctuations, you combine that with the lags and stuff, it become your worst nightmare. I don't have fun fighting the boss. Some people probably have fun. Well, I'm gonna imagine that they have like the god-killing PC rigs or something like that, which basically I don't have, right? So there you go, games poorly, frame drops, frame fluctuations, too much effect and flashy moves. And maybe because there's already a big problem, but I just kind of feel this in a slightest way, is that the combat feels a little bit janky because there's too much mechanism in the games, right? The combat just feels a little bit weird. There's like sometimes when I try to do this, but it didn't happen, and then sometimes I didn't do it, and somehow it happens. That's basically it, right? There's a little bit unpredictability in the combat style in this game. Well, that's that. I do feel like they want to put everything. They really want to make the fighting complex. They want to make the combat complex, but somehow it ended up backfires. And so the games runs poorly. The moment I start in the story mode, the demo gives me, it just goes lagging. It just goes bad. The game just suddenly runs poorly. Frame drops right away. And I even already put the game on the lowest quality. It's still bad. The game still runs bad. I feel like if I don't have that performance problem, the game's fine. For those who love RPG style, you might take a look into this game. You know, it's kind of like a game where you really just hack and slash your enemies around, and a really complex combat style, well, it's just gonna bring the spice to the table, right? Sure, it's gonna be a hell lot of fun. If only the game runs smooth. That's it. And so, basically, whatever I said so far is based on what I experienced, or what I feel when I play the game. So, a lot of you might ask that you're telling the game this and that and everything. Is it goes universally? No, it's not universally. And I do really recommend you to test this game first and foremost and give your own personal opinion. Because this is my own personal opinion. It's up to you whether you like it or not. But hear me out. This is the specification of my laptop. Yes, I'm playing games and I'm editing and stuff using my laptop. My laptop is not really the entry level, I can say that, but I'm telling you, it's quite having an outdated specification kind of thing. So maybe just the important part is that my laptop got a processor of AMD Ryzen 7 7435HS. It has a RAM of 32GB DDR5 with a speed of 2400 MHz, and the GPU is NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4050 laptop CPU 6GB GDDR6. So yeah, that's the main thing. That is the specification of my laptop, and that is all the experience that I got. One thing again is that I play the game while streaming. I do live stream, though well, nobody knows me basically, but that's just me. Well, anyway, when I use OBS as my recording and streaming applications, it kind of takes about around 5% and 640 megabyte of memories. Well, so anyway, everything that I've said so far is basically the counterpoint and all the experience that I felt with that counterpoint on mine. So back again, the whole specification and the whole reason I'm doing live stream recording while I'm playing the game and everything. Put that in mind and see to yourself whether it is something that could be said to be true or not. Well, anyway, that's that. So far, to be honest, I cannot recommend this game. Just on PC, there you have it. My rating for this game is poor, basically bad. I usually don't rate games based on demos again, but I kind of tell whether this game is good or not because this game was mainly designed to release on PlayStation so far as I know. So maybe if it's on PlayStation the game's gonna run good, but on computer I just can't say much. If you doesn't have the god killer PC spec, I cannot recommend you this game because, well, as you can see, my spec is quite outdated. Well, maybe like a years or two, well, and some of my spec are not really the top notch, as you can see. And maybe that could become a reason as a counterpoint so that you know whether your specification can play or run this game smoothly or not. That's basically everything. And so you who watch this review, thank you for watching, and I'll see you another time. Cheers.